Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In today's video, we're going to continue with our series of leaks from chapter 1051, and we're going to see how Momonosuke finally gets the post of the Shogun of Wano after he's managed to defeat Orochi and Kaido. Please remember that these, of course, are spoilers, and we don't have the full information about what was going to happen in this chapter. So we'll bring you more information as the leaks are released until we have the full chapter with the translation. But before we get into this second installment of leaks, if you're new to the channel, we'd be absolutely honored if you consider leaving us a like, or even subscribing with a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content, and if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing the channel or the video with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So friends, with this new series of leaks, we're going to be able to talk a bit more about the details of the events that are happening in this chapter. Now, of course, we still don't have the complete chapter, but we do have quite a bit more to talk about, and it's going to allow us to know everything that may happen in this upcoming chapter 1051 of One Piece. As we do in these leak videos, before we get into detail about each topic, we're going to go ahead and outline each of the leaks that we've had, so then we can dive in a little deeper with each of the things presented in the topics of chapter 1051. So to outline the events that we can see in 1051, the chapter begins in the same place where the previous chapter ended. Momonosuke is standing in front of all the citizens who are celebrating the end of the Fire Festival and makes a speech to everyone present. Before Momonosuke's speech begins, though, Yamato tells the Straw Hats gang that he wishes to go out with them and venture out on the sea just like Kozuki Oden, because this was his wish. Now, some of the Straw Hats seem very happy about this, but others are shocked that Yamato would want to leave. Momo then goes on to make a very nice speech that seems to make everyone in Wano happy. Next, we see that Momo becomes the Shogun of Wano, and the narrator tells us that in the future, he will be known all over the world as the greatest Shogun the land of Wano has ever had. After Momo's speeches, we are then given a scene where Tama is talking about how her powers only last a month after an animal eats one of her Kibidongos, and that her control is only for this limited time. So now that we've covered an outline of each of the leaked events, we're going to take each one in detail and analyze how these new revelations and information, kind of where they're going to take us and what they're going to point us to for future chapters. So as this chapter starts, we see the moment in which the previous chapter ends, and as the smoke clears, revealing the red scabbers and Hiyori, Momonosuke disappears, and we finally, hopefully, get to see Momo's face. Now, we don't have a picture of him yet, but his appearance is said to become something of a large man, possessing long hair with it cut in the front as it was in his childhood appearance. It's also said that his adult appearance is quite similar to Oden's, possessing great characteristics that could link Oden with Momonosuke. So as we deduce, Momonosuke has become very similar to his father now that he's managed to acquire this adult form of his. Of course, if this aging up hadn't happened, it might have been really possible that no one would have accepted that this little child would be the leader of Wano, and it might not have inspired so much confidence. But now that Momonosuke has gotten older and looks like an adult, and now even further may look like his father Oden, this is going to give him something of a bit more kind of power and give the people of Wano a bit more reverence to who he is and what he can bring to the future of Wano. Now, it's also said that Momonosuke has a gentler kind of appearance than his father, as well as wearing the same clothing as his childhood appearance, kind of maybe that pink color. So even though he's grown older, he still retains some of his old traits, such as his hair and his personality. So the only thing that's really changed about Momonosuke is that he now looks much more like his father Oden, which would of course allow the people of Wano to find a lot of resemblance between Momonosuke and Oden, and that kind of nostalgia for the Kozuki clan. Even if us, the readers, couldn't see his face, Momo's face is visible to all the residents of Wano, and everyone could see Momonosuke's adult appearance. And it's possible that Momonosuke is holding the Amino Habakiri in his waist, of course, which is one of the swords that Oden carried. But before Momonosuke starts his speech, we see Yamato is coming up in front of the Straw Hats and tells them that she wishes to become a pirate and sail with them across the sea, because of course her wish is to become Oden. But of course, for that to be possible, Yamato would have to join the crew of the future Pirate King, just as Oden had joined Roger's crew in order for them to find the One Piece. So after saying this, many of the Straw Hats are happy because Yamato is willing to be a companion and was a definite clutch person in the Battle of Onigashima and proved to be very loyal to Luffy's ideals. Yamato always stood up against her father to keep the country of Wano safe, showing that she had a pure heart and was worthy of joining the Straw Hats. Now, while some of them are very happy, others are surprised that Yamato is willing to join them. Of course, we still don't know what Luffy's answer is going to be because this is just in the leak and it's not said what the answer is. But it's really likely that Luffy may have accepted because many of the Straw Hats are happy that Yamato have said this. But of course, we also have to remember Luffy might still be unconscious at this moment and really can't respond. In many of the scenes of the battle, we saw how Luffy trusted Yamato and seemed to like her from the very moment they met, because during this battle, Yamato helped Luffy a lot, managing to open open the way for him to advance and even fighting against Kaido so that Luffy could recover and return to the fight, eventually winning out over against Kaido. So because of her help during this great conflict in Wano, it's looking really likely that Yamato is gonna be the new Straw Hat. And the other crew members might be frightened of Yamato and maybe just wondering what might happen if they refuse Yamato to become a new Straw Hat. But it also could mean that this surprised expression is just because they didn't expect that Yamato would really want to become a Straw Hat. So they might just accept Yamato joining the crew because they see that her intentions are true and her heart is in the right place. After Momonosuke's appearance is revealed to everyone, he makes a speech to everyone in the country of Wano. Now, we don't know exactly the content of the speech, but it seems like it may be tying back to events in the past. Whatever the case is, Momonosuke's speech seems to have been very powerful, and he said hopeful words that made the citizens of Wano smile again with happiness. This very speech, according to leaks, is a big focus of this chapter, as it was like the beginning of a new era in Wano, with a new shogun ruling the country to make it a happier and much better place. Through this new leadership, Wano could live in peace again, with its borders open so that new people could visit the country and allow Wano's residents to sail the sea. And with these actions, Momonosuke would be able to completely change the country of Wano, making it a happy place where people can live their lives without fear of conflicts and anything other evils that would come to them. This security, of course, would be rooted in the fact that Wano would now have the protection of their former samurai, and of course the Minks would be able to also help keep this country safe from future pirates who would wish to dominate or invade this country in the power vacuum left by the fall of Orochi and Kaido. The leaks also discuss the fact that we get a glimpse of the future where Momonosuke becomes the new shogun, and the narrator of course tells us that in the future he will be known all over the world as the greatest shogun the country of Wano has ever had. This foreshadowing shows us that Momonosuke was really able to change the lives of the people of Wano, making them happier and having a decent life so they didn't suffer as they did under Orochi and Kaido. After the visions of the future, we come back to the present where we see Momonosuke finishing his speech, and it looks like his sister Hiyori, who is touched by the reunion in the speech, is just giving him a big hug. We also get a little bit more information that we don't really know when it happens, but the narrator confirms that Momonosuke is still 8 years old inside, even though on the outside he looks much older. We then wrap up our leaks with this flashback or scene with Tama, where she reveals the information that the power of her devil fruit, the Kibidango, only lasts for 1 month. So Tama would at least have power over the animals that she had been able to turn over for at least the next month. The length of this power may be mentioned because, of course, since Kaido's beast pirates who were given the Dongos and put under Tama's control, we gotta know that there is a clock ticking. So this is gonna be the thing that really needs to have a plan put in place. Although we don't have the full details of how this comes up, it could have been because somebody asked her how long her fruit would take effect and last on Kaido's pirates, just so that they would know how long they had before the effect of her fruit wears off. That way they could be prepared. But with all that said, folks, this is the information that's been leaked so far, and soon we're gonna have the full chapter with all the images and the translations so that we'll be able to see the full story of what happened in chapter 1051. But for now, all we can do is wait and see how these events are gonna be coming to an end of this arc. We possibly still get to see Luffy and the Straw Hats' response to Yamato's decision. We'll get to see hopefully all of Momo's speech and get to see all of these new possibilities that'll be happening, and of course that great thing, the next leg of the Straw Hats adventure. But for now, let us know what you think in the comments. Where do you think the Straw Hats are gonna go to after this? What other things do you think still need to be wrapped up before they leave? Do you think we're gonna see an explanation of Luffy's powers, or maybe what's been happening with Zoro and his whole thing with the Reaper? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up this second installment of leaks for chapter 1051, I want to thank you all so much for watching the video all the way to the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.